Alright, I've been out of this Transformers thing for about 9 years. But, due to an unfortunate Google recommendation through my YouTube feed, I came across this guy. And shit, I got him. I did it. And holy cow. It blows my mind that not Hasbro, not Takara has gone and made their own version of Jazz at this point. This isn't like some sort of obscure character. This is someone that was in the, very prominent in just about every piece of Transformers media of all time, and they still haven't gotten around to it. And I find that very surprising. But this, I guess, third-party company, not even, licensed to do this, which I suppose makes some of this completely illegal if this even exists. Maketoys, I'm assuming that's how they're going to pronounce it. Obviously, somewhere out in Asia. I don't know what their setup is, but they took it upon themselves to do several characters, one of which was Jazz. And of course, they don't even call him Jazz, they call him Downbeat. Obviously, for some legal purposes there. And holy cow, they have just nailed it with this guy. Jazz is and has always been pretty much my favorite character of the whole Transformers. Just throughout any piece of media, growing up or in the movies, they killed him off. They killed him off in the first movie. I was so pissed back when I was in like middle school. So I've always just really admired the character for no particular reason. I think it probably stems from it was one of the first characters I had as a figure as a kid. So now I just think Jazz is pretty freaking sweet. So this third party company, Maketoys, has they've come out, there we go, with their own masterpiece, scaled and styled Jazz, and they have nailed it. Now, things to note, this has some reproduction third party stickers applied to it as well. Not all, but some, and this will be in part a review of those as well. This company made a very smart move, and they kept, the figure very, very blank and pretty plain, so that way they could have another company come by and create some, stickers to kind of fill in the gaps and do the work for them, which was a smart move. And I thought for sure when I was looking into this guy and how to get him, and as well as the company that made these reproduction labels, I thought for sure when I get this guy, I'm gonna put these stickers on there, because you can see the photos that they have of what once they're all applied, you can see what they look like. And I thought, wow, those look freaking sick. When these are on there, it's gonna look amazing. But something interesting happened when I got him in hand and finally took him out of the box, and just kind of take a look at it. Really kind of dawned on me how much effort they put into making this figure straight out of the box as cartoon accurate as they possibly could imagine. This and it didn't really even strike, if you look at the way it is, especially even here in the box, you can already see like the windows. That's part of the stickers I've applied here, but they have it just as a plain plain stripe with one red stripe going down the middle with the 4, and they have the cyan and red going off on the side, and that is it for paint applications or any sort of detailing. And of course the red bumper here, but that is it. Like, no, you can see I added some bright blue from the sticker set to the headlights here because they were just this non-existent, I think, clear plastic or something rather. I also applied some to the grill. I'm not sure if you can see there. It's a little bit more reflective, and a little bit more, I guess. I put those on there just so I thought it looked better. That's really all it comes down to. But they kept it as bare bones as possible. And when you look up images of Jazz in the original cartoon, they pretty much nailed it as far as what he looks like in the cartoon. There's no, be it because of just the technology they had at the time when it came to animation, they couldn't put in all of these really really fine details on all their characters, so all the characters just came by as being really kind of blocky and bland. That's probably what happened. And when it came to the actual figures back then, they applied all of the details and colorings that they wanted to in the cartoon, but just simply couldn't. But in both the Robot and Carbone in here, once I got it in hand, I really started to appreciate just how accurate to the original cartoon their representation was. And given that that's what I appreciate most about these Masterpiece figures, is how just spot on they are to their cartoon representations. All of a sudden, I did not want to put on the rest of the labels. Just because I really started to appreciate how accurate it was to the original. So I think this is how it's going to stay. I don't think I'm going to go and put on the rest to complete this stripe. And it looks super cool with all of those applied. However, it in robot form, it does kind of muddy up the image a little bit, and especially with the stickers up here on the front. Because again, this is a racing car, so they give you all sorts of like little branding. You got shell that you're supposed to put up over here. However, if you actually look up the real life images of the Martini Porsche, it has the shell branding down here. So I'm not sure where they're getting that placement from. But it's got all the branding stickers, as you would see on a typical race car, and it looks sick. Like if I had a second one of these, which holy shit, the price I paid for this, I'm definitely not. If I had a second one, hell yeah, I'd go for it, and I'd just keep it in car. However, given that after this video is going to stay in robot form until the rest of the time, I'd rather have a cleaner, robot form where his chest doesn't have a bunch of text all over the place, then to apply all these stickers there. And again, I just really really appreciate how accurate and similar it is to the cartoon. Like I think that's the whole I guess appeal for me about these masterpieces, these new kind of this next generation masterpiece, where they're just hyper cartoon accurate. I really love that. So I picked up the had for I think it was like $4. They have the window, the cartoon window decals, and they're freaking sick. I love these. So I have applied the window details, whereas before they were just like a clear plastic. Nothing notable about that at all. Just completely clear. So this it accentuates that cartoon look that the figure had going for it as well. I applied, like I said, the shiny blue to the headlights, just because again there's nothing notable about that, and the grille. I just like the way it looked. I also added in here this is typically just blank white, as you might be able to see on the side there. That is how it comes. And while if you look up cartoon shots of Jazz, that was blank as well. I felt that little detail made it look nice, and when you get to the robot form, it wasn't that intrusive as well. So I just kind of went for it. And I also applied what we call these taillights stickers as well. Now that blocks off one of the ports back there, which I'll get to in a second. But whatever, it looks fine. Now I was contemplating putting on these, at the very bottom here, these tailpipe looking sections to kind of clean up this rather messy back end here. But when you transform it into robot form, it kind of muddies up the image there, so I kept them off. So that's all of these stickers I have applied here. I think it looks sick. Now bringing in one of the few Transformers I still have here, the original. This is where it all started. This is where these these extra stickers are what they're trying to replicate, right? They're trying to get this guy to look just like here, if not more. So I might, because if you look at cartoon shots, there is a little black bar that goes across this top windshield. So I might end up putting one of these on there. You know, we'll see as time goes on. This thing's falling apart. It's so old. This isn't like a reissue or anything. This is a straight up from 1980 something 4. Got it from a friend, I think back in 07. Like this poor thing is so old. But you can see this also has reproduction labels on it as well. You can see what you know, which parts are missing and what kind of what they were going for with those stickers. But you know, this is cool for what it is. This is cool for what it is. They can be different. I think that's just fine. So there's kind of a, I don't know if you want to call it a size comparison. They're vastly different. I've been told this goes kind of right in line with the rest of the Masterpiece car bots, if we're gonna call it that. Put your arm back in there, you little guy. All right, put them side by side there so you kind of get the idea. There's like what 30-year difference between these two. That's what I think the fun about this is for me at this point in the races. Just seeing the engineering difference that 30 years can make is pretty remarkable. I think it's interesting. However, that leads me to another thing. I don't know why they went with this like bronze rims. It's accurate to the actual real life Martini Porsche, but it sure ain't accurate to both the old toy or the cartoon. So that's easily my biggest gripe about this whole figure is the color of these wheels, which tells you how great this figure is. That's the only thing I can nitpick. Personal preference, I think they should have gone with the silver for both cartoon accuracy and if they're trying to homage back to this guy, it would have made more sense. In the realm of size comparisons, I've pretty much sold off all my old stuff. I don't use it, so the only thing I do kind of have sitting around, which this is going on sale soon too, is the original Masterpiece Prime. The hunk of metal that this thing is. You can see, I guess, what these two kind of look like next to each other. Again, I'm actually about to sell this too because that MP44, the newest one, looks way better. So yeah, there's really the only other size comparison I can offer you because that's all I got. So it does come with some accessories for this form. I just keep it in a bag. I don't know if this is really interesting to anyone, but it does have like the little speakers that I guess you use in the show. I've seen the episodes and I never thought they were that noteworthy. They plug in back here into the taillights. Although due to the sticker that I put in there, I can't put these in anymore, which I could care less. Like it means literally nothing to me. I will end up putting in these reflective silver bits in there because that will look pretty sweet. But yeah, that's the only accessory that really applies to his car mode here. Cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy transformed and we'll take a look at the robot form. Quick note, forgot to mention, in his car mode, car mode's great, doesn't really quite tab together perfectly well all the way around, but it does pretty well. As far as the transformation, the only really difficult parts, or almost somewhat nerve-wracking parts, are the arms and the way the legs hinge out. But other than that, it's not too hard, but I'm not going to bore you with that. And here we have him in the robot form, and holy cow, once again, absolutely earns his title as like a masterpiece figure, because they nailed just the silhouette of this character completely. And from, I think literally every single angle, they've got it just spot on to the character's form. And I'll try to put some screenshots of the original Jazz up on the screen just so you can get an idea of what they were going for and how well they did with matching that. And in both forms, of course, his Porsche form is flawless, essentially, minus maybe for the back end there where the feet kind of are exposed a little bit, where they have that option to put the tailpipe stickers. But just, you know, the silhouette of this guy in both forms is very impressive. The only bits that are not quite accurate to the cartoon are, firstly, the legs here. These should be white, and they went with this somewhat shiny silver, not really too much, but it is definitely silver. It's the same type of silver going on the side here, which is in fact accurate, but it is not for the legs. Now, I've tried to take apart these legs. There is a screw right there, but there is like a very strange pin in this knee that I'm not familiar with, and this ratchet is also held together by some means that I do not necessarily understand, so I really have no idea how to get this leg apart. If I did, I would easily paint it, but I don't know how to take it apart, so I can't. Yeah, so this leg paint should have been white. They did not quite hit that. Not quite sure why. This little bit underneath the bumper here should not be red. It should be probably silver. The only bit that should be red is this bumper, as they already have it. Going with this extra piece down here was unnecessary, and it's really not accurate to anything. So I'm not quite sure what the thought process was on that. So these the forearms here, they got it right on this side where it's got like these two indentations. I don't know if you can see that, the two indentations on each side, but it does not carry around to any other piece of the arm. Like there's some weird molding in here that I'm assuming they just made that up because there's no reference material for why that is in that shape. When, you know, pretty much every shot we have of him on the cartoon has these two lines going across the arm in each way. So not sure what the thought process was on the arms. Maybe it was a production thing that was just easier to do this way. No idea. And the last bit is the legs. They did as well as they could with getting this whole wheel section out. This faux kind of fender part here ends up working out quite well. It does not hide away that well in the vehicle form, which I forgot to mention. Somewhat of a flaw of the vehicle form, but it ultimately pulls together quite well. But if you look at the images of the cartoon and the way the legs look, it is a little bit different than what they're able to do here. That being said, I think they did pretty, as well as one could possibly hope for with just the shape of the legs overall. And yeah, this guy is just really, really impressive. Just all the engineering bits and the way he comes together in the end to get this silhouette. I think they did a fantastic job. Now, I have a few stickers on that are only visible in the robot form. Of course, the lights and bumper are, not bumper, the grill have that sticker from the vehicle form that are still present. But I also decided to add these, as you've probably been seeing this entire time, these reflective sticker bits on the shins and toes. Not exactly cartoon accurate, but I thought it was non-intrusive enough, and it looked kind of neat, so I just kind of threw them on there. And I like the look of it. It was just this flat gray plastic beforehand all the way up, which, in the cartoon it was just a flat gray bit he had going on there. But just kind of a personal decision I ultimately liked, just the way it looked, so I went for it. I can peel them off if I don't. It's not really like a big investment. And here you can kind of see why I didn't put on those black tailpipe bits, because in the robot form it would be quite apparent, as these bits are, but not too much. So I give those ones a free pass in my book. Now this Autobot symbol I have stuck up there, that's very temporary. That's definitely coming off when I can find one that will fit their little placeholder bit going on right there. I tried putting that one in there and it didn't quite fill the space very well, so I just kind of peeled it off and stuck it on the shoulder for the time being. That is temporary. That's just a for now type thing. I need to get a couple. I know they have like a whole sheet you can order of different size Autobot symbols and so forth. So I'm gonna get that and just place it there. But other than that, this guy is just completely accurate to Jazz's form, from the hood being on the back with the stripe visible. The way his chest comes together, I just think the proportions on this thing are perfect. This flat kind of blue bits there, again, just as it is in the cartoon. It's so impressive to see just how, and again, as I was saying earlier, it really struck me when I got the thing, as I was about to put on all these stickers, was like, I finally started to appreciate just the effort that went into keeping this as close to the animation as possible. And I kind of really dig that. I kind of do. It's a little plain. It's a little bare bones, but it looks. If you have that appreciation for the animation model, then this thing really delivers on all fronts for that. In that regard. What else can I say about this thing? The engineering on this is fantastic, especially back here with the doors that fold away. You can easily pop these up if you want by just simply, if you just grab it right there, you just pull it up and you can move it to whatever angle, whatever degree that you so desire. You can have this car doors up there, which of course is a homage to the original figure here, how we have the car doors also kind of sitting up there, and that type of flexibility for however you want to display this thing, that is so cool to me. And the way it just with one fair swoop just easily pokes away and returns to his animation accuracy, that is just flawless engineering. And if Takara wants to compete against this thing, man, do they have their work cut out for them. And perhaps that's why they still haven't published anything, because this is just so well put together. And again, with the stickers, you can see how they tried to mimic the ones from the toy, with those little hip bits that cover up these light blue, the chest, or I guess abdomen area. They kind of have one for that. They have like a whole bunch. I might even apply these, what do you call that? Shiny. I'm going with that shiny blue bits that go on the back of here. I might not. I have no idea. I'm undecided. We'll see. But that's how he stacks up against the original there. And you can see how the ways they kind of paid homage to the original, but stayed ultimately true to the cartoon is fantastic. And why these silver bits kind of harken back to the chrome that was put on the feet of the old one. It's really neat. And again, this is what where the fun in this is all for me. Is just looking at all the ways that the engineering behind it, the before and after, 30-year time difference, what can be done. I think it's fantastic. And this guy's super posable too. They have a very good ab crunch. They flow it in there along with like a waist swivel that is, I bet you can go all the way around with it. Yeah, you can if you want. I mean, it's just very articulated. The arms, only gripe with the arms is they can't go completely like straight down, which is a little, just because the way the robot form kind of gets in the way, but that's not too bad. The knees are pretty decent. However, due to the car bits, can't get too deep with it, but you can get deep enough to do whatever crazy stuff you're gonna do. He's got the ankle tilts, the wrist swivels, the thigh swivels, the works. The only thing that kind of bothers me is the ratchets in the hips have that weird, they're either like right next to each other, or you get like, let's see if I can get, or you get the A stance, right? So you either get like as close to the point where these back bits are kind of rubbing, if not scratching up against one another like that, or you get his legs completely split, which then there's no in between, which is kind of, that's a pet peeve of mine with any figure. This chest bit has a propensity to detach from the car hood, which is a little just a little annoying, but nothing too crazy or too not fixable. It's just something you gotta typically have to push down on that for. And the hood doesn't exactly perfectly squish together once it's been transformed, but it's decent enough. accessories here. Comes with the little shoulder-mounted rocket, which will clip onto the shoulder, hints in the name. This is of course a homage to, again, the original figure I just took out of the way here. I don't have any of his accessories for the old one, but it did come with this little rocket thing, even though that was, I'm not entirely sure if that was ever in the show. So if you wanted to have him right next to your old one with the rocket out and the wings up, you could definitely do that. He's also got the just a flat gray gun that pegs into the hand. He's got these two speaker bits that fit onto his hips that make his hips a bit wider, and I think they harken back to like one episode where he used them. So if that's your thing, cool. He's got this grappling hook that comes with him that is another one of those things from that episode type accessory that it's actually very good quality. So that's neat. That he just grabs onto that and it pegs into his hand, if you're into that. And he's got two other faces. Here are the other two faces he comes with. Hopefully those are in focus there for you. It's like a half smirk and like a surprised face. This can be easily swapped in just by pulling off his head and putting this on there. I think you just like, how do you do that? Yeah, you just pull off his helmet, flip that out, and change his expression if you want. It's not too hard to do. Speaking of his head, though, he's got a great head sculpt, and they went with this nice, like, reflective, blue, whatever that material is called. I cannot get that to focus. Probably because there's this giant thing sticking right in the face of the camera. Not gonna focus. Doesn't look like it. Anyway, the visor, it looks good. It's very, very, of course, accurate to Jazz as we know him in pretty much all of his representations. He's got the visor, and I dig it. Of course I do. This is like definitely one of my favorite characters. Definitely one of my now favorite figures in my whole collection of, I think, 3 at this point. It's awesome. Just a fun display piece to have around to kind of represent the Jazz, my favorite character here. Now I got one last size comparison, just because of size. One of the last things I have here is the original Takara Grimlock. I don't know what that does for you as far as size, but there he is. There you go. Also on sale because, Superior Door. Anyways, final thoughts here. This is a staple of a figure at this point. There is no other Jazz that even comes close. I've looked far and wide and trying to check out what other options are out there, and this guy just blows them out of the water. Ultimately, in that replayable sticker set that's available, just gives you so many options depending on what other type of look you're trying to go for with your collection, with your Jazz, with your whatever it is that you do in your days. This guy's got options with the engineering of his doors. I dig it. I love just how cartoon accurate and put together this guy is. I mean, you got like some holes through his form via this transformation, but it's hardly anything to complain about. I mean, come on, it's a toy. Ultimately, it's a fucking expensive toy, but it's a toy, and it's kick-ass. It looks sick. I really appreciate this rendition of this character who, for some reason, is not really that well represented. In both, I think, the media and now, of course, in the Masterpiece line, they still haven't gotten around to it. Maybe that's because they can't get the rights from Porsche to use the car, as they've been doing with the rest of those Masterpiece lines, with getting the Lamborghini official branding and the Volkswagen official branding. and so forth. I think even Peterbilt and the Camaro, Chevy official branding. I think they even have the for tracks the Corvette. So whatever company owns that, GM, I think. I don't know. Anyways, maybe that's what's holding them up. Either way, if you're trying to finish, you're trying to get all the Autobots. This is the staple. This is it. This is he's the only one in existence as far as I'm concerned. So well worth the investment if you're looking for this character. Also well worth the repro labels that are available as well. They knocked it out of the park, and just everything from the accessories to the design. I've said it once, I said it 1,000 times. This thing rocks. So cool. Thanks for watching. I guess I really don't care. I'm just doing this to entertain myself at this point. I just got major spine surgery done on my scoliosis like 2 weeks ago, so I'm just bored as shit at home, pilled out, and I'm keeping myself busy one way or another. So here we go. Thanks. Tell me what you think. I don't know. What's up? It's been 9 years. How you doing? See you.